Hi, it's Allison again, and thank you for joining me again today. I'd like to share a story today about how I dreamt my way to shamanism, and share a little bit about my those gifts and the gift of dreaming. When I've been a dreamer since I was a child. I remember dreams from childhood, in fact, that mostly the scary ones, but they were pretty powerful. And what I know is that as a child, I was aware of a lot of things. There were things I was very intuitive and very sensitive, and I knew things that I wasn't supposed to know. I saw things that supposedly weren't there, like ghosts and spirits in the trees, and but those things got shut down. It was in my family at that time, children were to be seen and not heard. No one was really particularly interested in my imagination. I was a very imaginative child, and they were considered fantasies, right? Like not real. And also, by the time I got to school, and I was, wanted to talk, I got locked in a closet for talking when I wasn't supposed to in school. So things got shut down. All those gifts were shut down majorly for a very long time. Like many people, I may have had occasional dreams throughout the years, but I didn't pay any attention to them. Nobody talked about dreams, and they were just something I thought something was wrong with me. And in fact, a doctor once told me that it was dreaming was a sign of imbalance. So it took a very long time. I was in midlife, and when I had gotten introduced to the idea that dreams contained information, and they weren't just regurgitating events from your day, that there could be important messages there. And so when I got to shaman school, of course, dreaming was so important. That was like one of the most important portals for information, and the way that your soul communicated with you, and also through the dream time. So, this started to open up when I began to record my dreams. After graduate school, after I'd burnt out, which I talked about earlier, I would get up early in the morning and sit in my favorite, blue wingback chair by the window, and to meditate. And I would record. I would also start journaling. So I began journaling those dreams, and something magic happened. As soon as I started to write them down on a regular basis, they just started to flow, and they were fascinating. And also, I started to have a much wider range of experiences during the dream time. So I began to have, like out-of-body experiences where I'd be flying out through the universe, and began to have lucid dreams where I knew I was dreaming, and I could, ask questions and control, what I did and where I went. I began to have visions and see, my ancestors. I knew my ancestors were there. Like a whole range of things opened up, and I was fascinated, and I wanted to know more. And so the shamanic path opened up and made sense of so much of this. I also began to see a Jungian analyst and to work with my dreams. And ultimately, I realized that, these are gifts that many of us have, and is a portal to some really important information, and connection with the spirit worlds, and with our own higher self or spirit. And so this is, very exciting work for any of us to be doing, to be waking up to the fact that we are dreamers. We are always dreaming. Even when we're awake, we are dreaming and creating the world that we live in. And so shamanism was the path that taught me how I could become a conscious dreamer, and how I could be using, every moment, not just the sleeping time, but also the waking time, to be creating a different world, a better world. Um, so that's the path I'm inviting you onto. And, whether or not you're remembering your dreams, I'm just here to tell you that you are a dreamer. That is, your nature. You were created as a dreamer, and in the image of the great dreamer who dreamed us all into being and brought us all here. So if this sounds interesting to you at all and calls to you, I invite you to register for my free courses that are coming up. And I love to see you there. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.